Stop being weak. The Machiavellian Guide to Unbreakable Resilience. Stop everything you are doing right now. This is not another motivational video you can listen to while doing other things. I am about to reveal the 3 Machiavellian principles that will transform you from a victim of circumstances into an unbreakable force of nature. If you have arrived here, it is because your soul is tired of being weak, tired of being stepped on, tired of being the person everyone takes advantage of. And I see it all. You know what hurts me the most about your current situation? Seeing you accept mediocrity as if it were your destiny. Seeing you apologize for existing when you should be demanding respect. Seeing you bend and break under pressures that should make you stronger. I understand that exhaustion you feel from always being the one who gives without receiving. I comprehend that frustration that invades you when you realize that your kindness is seen as weakness. I know that deep anger that burns inside you when you see how manipulative people prosper while you struggle to survive. But let me reveal something that will shake the foundations of your victim mentality forever. That weakness you have been carrying is not your true nature. It is a learned behavior that the world has programmed into you to keep you controllable. Every time you were told to be humble when you should have been assertive, you were being trained for weakness. Every time you were taught to put others first, when they were clearly taking advantage of you, you were being programmed for exploitation. Every time you were convinced that being strong was selfish, you were being conditioned for defeat. Today that programming ends. Today you discover the Machiavellian principles that will make you unbreakable, not through cruelty or evil, but through strategic intelligence and calculated strength. First Machiavellian principle. True power is not demonstrated through aggression, but through the intelligent management of your emotional responses. Listen carefully because this revelation will change your identity forever. You have been thinking that being strong means reacting explosively to every provocation. You have believed that showing your anger immediately is a sign of courage. You have assumed that defending yourself loudly is the way to gain respect. But I'm going to show you something deeper. The most powerful people in history were not those who exploded at every offense. They were those who learned to control their internal responses while strategically planning their external actions. Think about it like this. A volcano that erupts constantly loses all its power through continuous explosions. But a volcano that contains its energy and erupts strategically can reshape entire landscapes. Your emotional energy is your most valuable resource. When you waste it reacting to every small provocation, you have no power left for the battles that really matter. When you learn to contain that energy and release it strategically, you become an unstoppable force. This does not mean becoming emotionless or passive. It means becoming calculated and intentional with your responses. It means asking yourself, will my reaction to this situation move me closer to my goals or further away from them? It means understanding that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Sometimes the strongest action is strategic patience. Sometimes the most devastating victory is achieved through calculated silence. When you master this principle, something extraordinary happens in your relationships. People stop trying to manipulate you because they realize you cannot be easily triggered. Toxic individuals naturally distance themselves from you because they cannot feed off your emotional reactions. Quality people are drawn to you because they respect your emotional stability and mental strength. You begin to move through life like a chess master, thinking 3 moves ahead while others are still reacting to the current play. Like this video if you are starting to understand that your emotional reactions have been your greatest weakness. Comment, "I control my power," if you feel these words touching something deep in your spirit. Second Machiavellian principle, unbreakable. Resilience comes from transforming every setback into strategic information for future victories. This revelation will completely revolutionize how you handle failures and disappointments. Most people see failure as proof of their inadequacy. They see rejection as confirmation of their unworthiness. They see setbacks as signs that they should give up on their dreams. But I am going to show you how truly powerful people think. They see failure as expensive education they did not have to pay for. They see rejection as redirection toward better opportunities. They see setbacks as setup for more powerful comebacks. Every time someone betrays you, you learn exactly what loyalty looks like and who deserves your trust. Every time a plan fails, you discover weaknesses in your strategy that you can strengthen for next time. Every time you are underestimated, you gain the advantage of surprise when you prove them wrong. Every time you are knocked down, you build muscles of resilience that make you harder to knock down again. This is not positive thinking or self-deception. This is strategic thinking that converts every experience, pleasant or painful, into useful intelligence for your mission. Think about it like a military general studying battle reports. He does not read about defeats to feel bad about losses. He studies them to understand exactly what went wrong so he can avoid those mistakes in future battles. He analyzes victories to understand what worked so he can repeat those strategies. That is exactly how you must approach your life experiences. Every relationship that ended teaches you what to look for and what to avoid in future relationships. Every job you lost shows you skills you need to develop and toxic environments you need to recognize. Every financial mistake reveals gaps in your knowledge that you can fill before making bigger investments. Every health crisis teaches you the value of taking care of your body and the importance of prevention. When you begin to see every experience as strategic information, something powerful happens in your mind. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a student of life. You stop taking things personally and start taking them strategically. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" You stop feeling sorry for yourself and start planning your next move. This mental shift is what separates people who remain stuck in cycles of weakness from those who build unbreakable resilience. The weak person experiences a setback and thinks, "This confirms I am not capable." The resilient person experiences the same setback and thinks, "This reveals exactly what I need to improve." The weak person faces rejection and concludes, "I am not worthy of success." The resilient person faces the same rejection and concludes, "I am being redirected toward something better." In these times when society encourages victimhood and complaint culture, you have the opportunity to rise above the masses through strategic thinking. You can choose to be someone who transforms every obstacle into a stepping stone, someone who converts every enemy into a teacher, someone who turns every crisis into an opportunity for growth. But this requires a fundamental change in how you interpret your experiences. It requires disciplining your mind to look for lessons instead of looking for blame. It requires training your heart to seek wisdom instead of seeking sympathy. It requires developing the mental toughness to find value in pain instead of just trying to avoid it. When you master this principle, you become virtually unbreakable. Not because nothing bad happens to you, but because everything that happens to you makes you stronger, smarter, more strategic. Third Machiavellian principle. True invincibility comes from building systems of strength that function independently of your mood, motivation, or circumstances. This is the revelation that will complete your transformation from weakness to unbreakable resilience. Most people base their strength on how they feel. If they feel motivated, they act strong. If they feel discouraged, they act weak. If circumstances are favorable, they move forward confidently. If circumstances are difficult, they retreat in fear. But emotional strength and circumstantial confidence are not true strength. They are temporary states that fluctuate based on external factors beyond your control. True strength, unbreakable resilience, comes from building internal systems that operate consistently regardless of how you feel or what is happening around you. Think about it like this. A soldier does not go to battle only when he feels brave. He goes to battle because he has trained his body and mind to function effectively even when he is afraid. A surgeon does not operate only when she feels confident. She operates because she has developed skills and protocols that work regardless of her emotional state. A pilot does not fly only when weather conditions are perfect. He flies because he has systems and procedures that allow him to navigate safely through storms. You need to develop the same approach to resilience. You need to build daily practices that strengthen you regardless of your mood. Physical practices, exercise routines that build mental toughness along with physical strength, nutrition habits that stabilize your energy and focus, sleep schedules that optimize your cognitive function and emotional regulation, mental practices. reading that expands your strategic thinking, meditation that increases your self-control, journaling that helps you process experiences and extract lessons. Social practices, relationships with people who challenge you to grow, networks with individuals who can support your goals, boundaries that protect you from energy vampires and toxic influences, financial practices, budgeting that gives you peace of mind, investments that build long-term security, income streams that reduce your dependence on any single source. When you establish these systems and follow them consistently, something powerful happens. Your strength becomes independent of your circumstances. Your confidence becomes independent of your feelings. Your progress becomes independent of your motivation. You become like a well-built machine that functions optimally regardless of external conditions. But here is the most important part. These systems must be designed around your authentic values and long-term vision, not around impressing others or competing with them. The moment you build systems to prove something to people who do not matter, you give them power over your decisions. The moment you design your life around others' expectations, you become dependent on their approval. The moment you measure your worth by external validation, you surrender your inner strength to forces beyond your control. True Machiavellian strength comes from building systems that serve your authentic mission, regardless of who understands it or approves of it. It comes from developing capabilities that align with your deepest values, not with social trends. It comes from creating a life structure that makes you proud of who you are becoming, not just successful in others' eyes. When you live this way, you become genuinely unbreakable. Not because you are invulnerable to pain, but because pain cannot derail you from your path. Not because you never fail, but because failure cannot define your identity. Not because everyone likes you, but because you do not need everyone to like you to maintain your self-worth. Not because life becomes easy, but because you become strong enough to handle whatever life brings. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop needing others to validate your strength, they begin to respect it naturally. When you stop trying to prove you are tough, people begin to see your toughness as obvious. When you stop reacting emotionally to every provocation, people begin to treat you with genuine consideration. When you build unbreakable resilience, you attract relationships and opportunities that match that energy. Strong people want to associate with other strong people. Successful people want to partner with people who can handle pressure. Leaders want to work with people who do not break under stress. Your unbreakable resilience becomes a magnet for the life you actually want to live. Now, let me give you a personal promise that I want you to keep in your heart as a treasure. If you commit to applying these 3 Machiavellian principles consistently for the next 90 days, I promise you will see a transformation so dramatic that people will ask what happened. To you, you will walk with different authority. You will speak with different confidence. You will make decisions from a different perspective. You will handle conflicts with different wisdom. You will attract different people into your life. You will create different results in everything you touch. But more than all this, you will experience the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you have become the person you always had the potential to be. You will no longer be someone who hopes things will get better. You will be someone who makes things better. You will no longer be someone who reacts to life. You will be someone who creates the life you want. You will no longer be someone who survives challenges. You will be someone who conquers them. The 3 Machiavellian principles are not just strategies for success. They are keys to unlocking the unbreakable version of yourself that has always existed beneath the programming of weakness. Like this video if you are ready to stop being weak and start being unbreakable. Comment, "I choose strength," if you feel your mindset shifting as you listen to these words. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this urgent message about building unbreakable resilience. Subscribe to this channel for more revelations that will continue strengthening your mental and emotional fortitude. Because when you share a message that is transforming your life, you are planting seeds of transformation in others' lives, and those seeds will grow and bear fruit that will benefit future generations. Your season of weakness ended today. Your era of being taken advantage of closed with this message. Your stage of victim mentality transformed into an era of unbreakable resilience. Now go and become the unstoppable force you were always meant to be.